WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5:30.
Right now at 5:30, a police chase ends with a Michigan driver crashing into a building, and it was all caught on camera. Plus, get your Wendy's fix now because a location near you might be closing down for good. And a big surprise for military veterans while traveling to Washington, D.C. Those stories and a lot more, and all in the first 6 minutes. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start the clock. And tonight we begin in Oakland County, where a woman is now facing charges of drunk driving, accused of crashing into an Ulta Beauty store. Now, this happened around 1 o'clock Sunday morning in Royal Oak. Police were responding to a call about someone driving on railroad tracks. In the dash camera video right here, officers are following the driver who ends up crashing into the store. The driver and a passenger were treated for minor injuries. Police arrested 26-year-old Katrina Patterson, who was formally charged in court on Monday with fleeing police, felonious assault, and malicious destruction of a building, among other crimes. Well, tonight we are learning a U.S. Postal Service worker was found dead, trapped in machinery at a postal facility in Allen Park. Fire officials there say the worker was trapped inside a mail handling machine for several hours on Saturday. The man's fiance called the facility when he did not come home after his shift, and officials say that he was dead for 6 to 8 hours before he was found. Federal officials are now handling this investigation, and they are treating this as an accident. In Macomb County now, the city of Center Line pulled out of an agreement between local police and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That agreement was made in October and allowed police officers to act as immigration agents. But during a city council meeting last week, dozens of residents voiced concerns about possible racial profiling. After the meeting, the city announced the agreement would be dropped, citing a lack of resources to carry out immigration enforcement. In Indiana, prosecutors say it could be next week before a decision is made on whether to charge a homeowner for killing a woman who went to the wrong house. Maria Perez de Velasquez, a house cleaner, was with her husband when they were standing on the front step of a house where she thought she was supposed to work on Wednesday. Police say she was shot from inside the house, but very few details have been released. Her family and others held a gathering at the prosecutor's office on Monday demanding justice. Following up on a story we told you about last night, police say a Christian missionary and his adult daughter were killed when their plane crashed in a South Florida neighborhood on Monday. The 53-year-old father was the founder of ministry group Ignite the Fire. His daughter was 22 years old. No other victims were announced this morning. The pair were on their way to Jamaica to help with relief efforts after Hurricane Melissa devastated part of the island. And in Colorado, the pilot of a small plane made an emergency landing on a city street, hitting a moving car in the process. This happened as well on Monday. First responders say nobody on the plane or on the ground was hurt in this crash. Officials say the plane lost power shortly after taking off and could not make it back to the airport. And that's when the pilot aimed for the road and hit the back of a car when he came down. And at Washington Dulles International Airport, a people carrier known as a mobile lounge crashed, sending 18 passengers to a hospital on Monday. They are all expected to recover. The mobile lounges are used to move people between different parts of the airport. Officials say the lounger hit a loading dock at an odd angle. In business news, Wendy's is planning to close hundreds of U.S. restaurants over the next few months. During an investor call on Friday, company officials said it's an attempt to boost profit and make its remaining stores more appealing. There are now a little more than 6,000 Wendy's locations in the U.S. About 300 of them could close. The Wendy's CEO says restaurants could be closed for underperforming, either financially or from a customer perspective. Looking at global headlines now, a suicide bomber attacked a district courthouse in the capital of Pakistan today, killing 12 people. 27 others were hurt. Officials say the attacker tried to get into the courthouse, but then set off the bomb while standing next to a police vehicle. A faction of the Pakistani Taliban first took responsibility, but one of its leaders have since denied that. That group is allied with the Afghani Taliban, and tensions between the two countries are high. Meanwhile, dozens of Israeli settlers attacked two villages in the West Bank today, not long after tens of thousands of Israelis attended the funeral of an Israeli soldier whose body had been held in Gaza for 11 years. They set fire to property and vehicles before the Israeli military stopped the attack. Police arrested 4 Israelis and 4 Palestinians were hurt. The United Nations said last week more Israeli settler attacks on Palestinians have happened in October than in any other month since it began keeping track in 2006. Today is Veterans Day, and Mid-Michigan is honoring military veterans in a number of ways today. In East Lansing, the Michigan State Center for Veteran and Military Affiliated Students held its annual Veterans Brunch. At the event, organizers tell 6 News more than 2,600 Spartan students are military connected, and about 500 of those are currently serving in the armed forces. They add about 2,000 Spartans are also military dependent spouses and children. Director Patrick Forstak says these events are important to bring a sense of community and belonging for veterans.
It's nice to get that recognition, for a lot of these folks, they made a significant sacrifice, their families made a significant sacrifice, so it's nice to pause for, a day, maybe a couple hours, and think about that. Whether they're, faculty and staff that are veterans or supporters or students that are coming by to get a bite between classes, it's just fantastic to support that overall mission of building that community.
The event also featured a poster board where people could leave thank you notes for vets. And wrapping up our first 6 minutes of news, former President Barack Obama surprised a group of veterans and their families while they flew to Washington, D.C. over the weekend. The Honor Flight Network transports veterans to events in Washington free of charge.
Thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored.
Former President Obama gave each veteran a presidential challenge coin acknowledging their service and sacrifices for the nation as they walked off the plane. They were very surprised in the video to see the former president. Yeah. Very nice.
So, Siobhan, do you like the Northern Lights?
I do.
Do you like 65 degrees?
I do.
Okay, I only got one of those two in the forecast. You can probably guess which.
The Northern Lights, which are nice. You had me going for a second, David.
I just got your hopes up and then dashed.
Your full forecast right after the break. Hopefully there's some warmth in it.
There is.
We'll find out. And then later, the families of the victims of a flood at a Texas summer camp, they are now suing the camp, accusing it of negligence. We're going to explain that lawsuit in this week's Legal Edge, that and a lot more still to come.